Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shirley with Holistic Transformations Massage, also known as Jolly with Jolly's Healing Touch. I am so excited today. We have our guest with us, Alecia Deon. Hi Alecia.
Hi.
Alecia is here to talk about crystals and I will be talking about essential oils. So we're talking about combining aromatherapy and crystals for chakra healing and chakra balancing. Alecia has a lot of information on this, and so I'll be learning as we're sharing this information with you today. I'm so excited to have you with us, Alecia.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a lovely idea. And I think just the combination of aromatherapy and chakra healing and crystals is perfect.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I have a website, rosesandconcrete.com, and I do healing work specifically for historically marginalized populations. So working with Black women specifically, queer people of color, queer trans people of color, and folks with disabilities as well. But of course, I work with everyone, but that's my target audience just because I feel we need a lot more healing and a lot more love. So I try to hold space for us in a very special way.
Beautiful.
And yeah.
Yeah, great. I really love the idea of self-healing. I'm a massage therapist, as you know, and I work with a lot of bodies. But since this pandemic, we really focus about self-care and self-healing. So how we educate our clients how to take care better of themselves while going through this, boosting their immune system and dealing with anxiety and stress, and also balancing chakras. And we recently had a session on chakras, and it was fascinating. And so we thought about bringing together both you and I with our specialties, you with crystals and I with aromatherapy. So let's talk about chakras a little bit. So let's define chakras. Chakras are energy centers in the body. So I know very the basic about chakras. So if you can go ahead and expound on that, that would be wonderful.
Okay, so the way I like to look at chakras is that they are part of grounding all of the etheric bodies and the external bodies that we have. So we have an emotional body. People know about the aura that surrounds us. So the chakras kind of ground those energies as well and has an impact on the energy surrounding us. And like you said, they're like energy centers. And so each chakra spins as a different speed, has a different color associated with it, a different energy, different purpose. Even organs, you can heal particular organs and release the emotional stress that attaches to particular organs through chakra work.
Wonderful. Awesome. And so I understand that chakra in Sanskrit does mean wheel. So it is a spinning and a moving thing. And I saw somewhere, and don't laugh at me, but it was Avatar. And it was the cutest and the clearest explanation on chakras because it looked like there was some things kind of holding back the chakra from spinning. And so things collected and collect like a stream. And so the stream couldn't flow because debris was collected in the higher part or a lower part. So that made complete sense on how they're connected. So if one is blocked, one energy is not balanced or blocked, then it does affect the other chakras in the body. Correct?
Precisely. And I am a newly obsessed Avatar fan, so I remember exactly what you're talking about. And I thought that was a really clear and perfect example of, your emotions collecting and blocking your external environment. All of these things are essentially pollutants in the body, and they can collect over time. And so they do have to continually be released, addressed, and, we don't want to ignore what's going on internally. That's not a good state to be in.
Yeah. And I'm understanding there are many chakras in the body, including outside of the body, right? 8th, 9th chakra. But even in the body, there's more, but we'll be focusing on the 7 main chakras.
Yes.
Correct? Great.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the root chakra, the first chakra, the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, and then the third chakra, which is the solar plexus.
Yes.
And so this is the first of a three-part series on chakras. Our next video will be talking about the fourth chakra. And then our third video will be talking about the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra. Perfect. So let's get started. So I have some questions for you, Alecia.
Okay.
How do you know if a chakra is sluggish or imbalanced? How would you know that?
I like to mainly address all of this through the emotions. And so if you feel blocked emotionally, and sometimes even the physical body, so extreme lethargy that's not related to any kind of chronic illness or anything like that can be found within the chakras as a blockage. So I like to look at very physical and emotional symptoms to start.
Okay, great. And let's start with the root chakra. So if you're feeling imbalanced in the root chakra or you're sluggish, what would that look like?
So with the root chakra, emotionally, you feel ungrounded, you feel unbalanced, like you just can't get you can't just get that sturdy feeling, like feeling rooted and feeling feelings of safety, feelings of having home, like those type of very basic psychological emotional needs that we have. I like to compare this to Maslow's hierarchy. And so the very base needs would be reflected when they are not met, would be reflected in the root chakra.
And so I'm understanding that the color that's associated with the root chakra is red. So would it be fair to say that somebody should wear, if they're feeling sluggish or imbalanced in that chakra, would red be a good color to wear?
Yes, actually, that's a great idea. And the thing about it is that when it is imbalanced, you actually tend to reject those colors. So if your root chakra is unbalanced, you would tend to shy away from red, like the red would be, so it would feel too aggressive to you. And so the same thing with all of the other colors. And so in some of my sessions, doing personal development and coaching, I use a color oracle, and you just choose a bunch of colors, and it kind of gives you an overview of your emotional state based on the colors that you are drawn to and the ones that you reject. So yes, even the foods, like eating red foods, tomatoes, that kind of stuff, can help heal the root chakra.
Beautiful. And what crystals are associated with the root chakra?
So here I have one of my absolute favorites. This is black tourmaline. So let's get close up in there. So that's black tourmaline, and you know it by, it has like these ridges on it. So with chakra healing, I think just having it anywhere in your auric field, anywhere on the body is good. But in meditation, people like to actually place it. So you would place it like on the lower part of your stomach while meditating, laying down or something like that. One of my first experiences with crystals and how I was just like, okay, I think these actually work. I was feeling really ungrounded, and it was, I was exploring for the first time. So I got 3 dark crystals and I had them in my pocket. And maybe an hour and a half later, my whole body just started heating up. Like I got so hot, I almost felt like I was gonna faint. And I was like, okay, these work, number one. And number 2, be very careful. You got to know what you're doing a little bit. So be conscious when you're wearing them, and kind of limit yourself and see at about what point they start to work for you. You have to be very intuitive with them. And you can actually, charge them, speak into them, ask them for what you need, ask them for specific medicine. So people like to do things like that. So it feels like this 2-way process of healing back and forth.
Okay. Yeah. And so the root chakra is located at the base of the spine.
Yes.
And I know certain oils like nutmeg is really good for releasing blockages in the root chakra. Any other essential oils that you know of?
I like to use, I thought I had it over here. I think sandalwood And anything that's earthy and grounding, so the nutmeg, I can definitely see anything that has a very earthy scent will work well with the root chakra.
I have bergamot as well as one that balances the root
Yes.
chakra too. Yeah. There's Young Living has a blend called grounding, and it does have a really good earthy smell. And I am a Gemini, so I'm an air sign, and I do sometimes feel a little everywhere, and I have to purposely ground myself. And when I'm having a hard time with it, I grab my grounding, and it really does help.
It really does. And it's good to know, like, even your sun signs, your moon, and your rising sign, stuff like that, like understanding what percentage dominates your chart and which signs, and if it's, earth or water, what dominates. And so you can kind of correlate your healing with that for sure.
Awesome. The second chakra we want to go into is the sacral chakra. And the color associated with that is orange. So talk to us a little bit about crystals to help balance that chakra.
Okay, so my favorite here is citrine. Yes, so this is citrine, and citrine helps. So this chakra deals with sexuality and also creativity. In a lot of like ancient spiritual texts, those two energies are regarded as the same. So there is no differentiation. And so the idea of being able to give birth and create something, whether it is a human life or a project or art or whatever that thing might be, we regard that as, your child is something that you brought into the world through your own expression. And so even reflecting back on the root chakra, you need to be grounded and have a good sense of self and a good, feeling of safety and all of that in order to create, in order to make another expression of yourself in essence.
Wonderful. So I know that the sacral chakra is located below the navel.
Okay, so this is accidentally, I said citrine, which is next, but this is actually orange calcite.
Awesome. Yeah, okay. Calcite, beautiful. And that's orange. So let's talk a little bit about massage. I know when releasing blockages in the sacral chakra, massaging the belly underneath the navel is really good, but also massaging the low back is really nice too. It's really good as well. The base, actually, your low back, and I mean, not your sacral chakra, but going into the coccyx. Really, the sacrum too. The sacrum too is part of that. And so oils you can use for that is Neroli and Ylang. Ylang is absolutely beautiful. It calms.
Yeah, my favorite.
And it is one of my favorites too. I actually have it diffusing in my son's room right now. It just calms and relaxes. So Ylang is very good for the sacral chakra. Good. So we've covered everything so far? Okay,
yes.
Let's talk about the solar plexus. The solar plexus is a big one for me whenever I get nervous, and that one's located right above the navel, correct? And the color associated with that is yellow. So talk a little bit about that for me.
So the solar plexus deals with self-empowerment. And like I said before, you'll tend to reject the color yellow when you are not standing in your power. And so the ability to, now we're transcending and moving closer to the heart chakra and closer to purpose and closer to all of those things. And you have to be very deliberate and kind of know who you are and all of those things to move into your heart space and to really do that healing and ascension. So the solar plexus is always a really, really big one because you constantly are setting boundaries and renegotiating relationships and all of these things. So self-empowerment becomes really significant when it comes to healing.
And the crystals associated with that?
So that would be citrine.
Citrine, perfect. Oh, yes.
And you can see the colors tend to be related.
Yeah.
So the more darker ones for the root, and then most times the colors will be related to the chakra color.
And how about tiger's eye? Is that really good for the solar plexus as well?
I can't remember which one tiger's eye is good for. I can definitely. So this is my favorite little book here.
Yes. Yes.
And it's a pretty thick one, but
Yeah.
it's called The Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. And so it has this really amazing list. And here you can see.
Yes.
It's really, really great for referencing. So this is where I'll usually come and just really quickly get a feel for what chakras will work. And yeah, tiger's eye is here for the solar plexus. Absolutely.
Beautiful. I read that somewhere, and that's what I carry for me for my for when I need that, because I do get a little nervous sometimes. I feel it right in my belly, so I do feel better when I have my tiger's eye with me. And I was talking to you about that. I have an array of crystals that I use and I have in my massage room, or I have around me when I'm talking to clients about using essential oils or self-healing. And so they really have been helpful. So maybe in our next video, we can talk about how to re-energize and how to cleanse our crystals.
Yes.
Perfect. So some oils that really help with the third chakra is eucalyptus. That awakens the solar plexus. Vetiver and Helichrysum is good for calming, and grapefruit and lemon is good for balancing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Vetiver and definitely eucalyptus are two of my favorites. I always use those in meditation, and sometimes I'll just sprinkle some eucalyptus oil on the floor on the shower, and let the heat, all of that, and it turns into this like just heavenly little 20 minutes. If you're doing chakra work and you're, cleansing, of course, your auric field with the shower and all of that. So it's beautiful.
That sounds wonderful. And so gentle massaging of the tummy is a great way. And you can also apply these to children. You can also, of course, when massaging or when applying essential oils to children, you want to make sure to dilute with a carrier oil. So that's something to keep in mind.
Very important.
Right. I think we've talked about the sacrum. There's certain things I want to talk about. Talk a little bit more about your practices and your modalities.
So I like to combine modalities. That's why I was so excited to have this conversation with you, because I never find that one thing is effective enough. You want to come at one problem from multiple angles. And so I like to use aromatherapy, and I like to use the crystals. I like to definitely empower folks to speak, over their problems and over their lives with their intentions and things like that. Meditation, just using visualization and imagination, all of those things that we think are maybe childish, and we don't necessarily like to participate in them as adults. But, that's where so much of our power lies. Whatever you can see can actually come into being through your intentions and through, committing to that vision. So I definitely encourage people to use multiple angles, and definitely sound therapy is another big one for me, and color therapy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I know with a lot of stresses going on in the world, people may feel that in their solar plexus. Diffusing is also a great way. Diffusing oils while you're sleeping or in the morning, diffusing that eucalyptus, or the lime and the grapefruit. There's another blend called Citrus Fresh that I do diffuse quite often in the home, because lemon has a great way, and citrus oils have a great way of relaxing and calming. So they work well with the third chakra too. So diffusing and direct inhalation is always great. You put a few drops in your hand, you bring it close to your nose. It is a beautiful way of dealing with stress. So we talk about that as well.
Yes.
So I think we talked about your services. So if a client wanted to get a consultation or to reach you, how would they go about doing that?
So my website, rosesandconcrete.com, it's closed at the moment, but you can always put your email address in to join the newsletter and be, alerted when I reopen. And when I do reopen, all the services are listed. If, anyone has specific requests, hello@rosesandconcrete.com is my email address. And I'm on Instagram at a conjure woman and at roses, the letter N, concrete. So I have those 2 pages and I share all of my passions on there. So yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. We can find your information on the description box below. So information on how to reach Alecia or how to reach me if you need some consultation with essential oils or consultation on crystals. Alecia also has knowledge on essential oils too that she can send you my way so you can order what you need. So please feel free to contact us. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I will also link Alecia's channel on our description box so you can follow her as well. And please, in the comments, if you have any questions about chakra work, using essential oils, using crystals, please feel free to do so. Stay tuned for our next video. Next week will be released. So click the bell on the notification so you can be notified as soon as we release our second video on dealing with the heart chakra. Thank you so much, Alecia. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And so, see you next time. Bye.